Hello Flosstube, my name is Shanna and welcome to video number 3. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. I hope you got lots of time for stitching and crafting and spending time with family. We had a blast. It was very relaxing here. We just did a breakfast. I think everybody was so tired from working so much. And we just spent time just around the house and it was great. It was wonderful. After the storm last week, I waited a few days and I went out foraging and I was so excited. I grabbed my basket. I have this hood. I have to show you this. This comes in handy. Here we go. I made this out of old sweaters and sweatshirts, and it's a very long hood. I wear this when I go hiking so that when I find things, I can just pop it. It's like a backpack. I just put it right in the hood. So I went out and I found really long white birch branches, and my plan for those is to hang them above my bed, and I'm going to add, I have these really little tiny lanterns I'm going to hang from it just to, I don't know, I'm really into bringing the outdoors in right now. And after I got back from foraging that day, I packed up all of my Christmas things and I cleaned the house, dusted everything, and just wanted a blank slate to create. I got a bunch of pine branches. I found in my basket, I have a whole basket full of these. I found these pine cones, and I have never found pine cones this big in our neighborhood before. So I filled my whole entire basket full of these. And I also found a bunch of little pine cones, and I just threw them in my hood and brought them home. Before I packed my last box of Christmas away, I wanted to finish one more thing from last video. I had done this pattern by Amy Brecken. I did this, and I had just had it loosely finished in a long rectangle, and I wanted to do a stocking. I was going to do it with red ticking, but when I went through my stash, I came across this tan ticking, and I thought, oh, it went so well with it. So I just recycled the ribbon from the last project that these snowmen were, and the jingle bells. I added a little snowflake to the heel, and on the toe I did a little pocket. And my plan is to next year add a little white bottle brush tree and a candy cane. So that is the last Christmas thing that needs to go in the box, and I can put the last box away. Okay. I had a blank slate to work with, so I went downstairs into my storage room where I keep all of my finds from yard sales and estate sales when I was doing the antique space at the antique mall. I decided I wanted to do just kind of like a more neutral color for the new year. I just wanted it really peaceful and restful. And so I just started pulling things out of the storage room. I pulled out everything that I could find that was white, wooden, and I wanted to do pops of gold for the new year and then transition into red for Valentine's Day. I found a bunch of fabric. It's like burlap, and I decided to take this and try to stitch on it. I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but I made it work. I had plans. I had big plans. Once I brought these pine branches in and I put them in my dough bowl and I put it in the living room on the coffee table, I was like, oh my gosh, this is toddler friendly. When Malachi wants to redecorate, I will just do some little pillows, pop them in the bowl, and if he wants to have a pillow fight with the dogs, it's not going to be a big deal. So I went ahead and I started stitching. I stitched joy. I stitched laugh. I stitched live. I stitched hope. I stitched believe. There we go. Where am I at? And I stitched love. And then I put them all in my dough bowl. And my plan is to add pine cones. Here, I'll show you really quick. It's not all put together, but you'll get how it looks. Okay, so there's the dough bowl with all the pine branches, and I'm gonna add some of the big pine cones and stuff in there. For the back fabric, I found these napkins. And so I just used this napkin fabric for the back. So there was my neutral theme. When I decided to come upstairs and redo my hutch, redo my display, my plan was just to do white, just to do wooden and, you know, the pops of gold. And so I wasn't paying attention to what I was pulling out of the storage room. When I gathered everything and I started bringing it upstairs, I saw a theme emerge and I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, like this was not planned. Maybe there's a message in this. So I found these. Oh, I don't know if you could see these. Oh, there we go. I found these. They're made out of beeswax. They're like old school angels. And I don't even know where I got these from. But I really liked these. And this is the first thing that I picked up. And then I had these angel wings right here. And then this angel statue was down there. And this whole theme emerged of angels and faith and prayer. And oh, it was just amazing how it came together. So I went with it. And then it inspired me. I decided I'm going to stitch an angel. So I went into my craft room and I found this pattern, Hornbrick Angel by the Primitive Needle. Now I have stitched just the angel part before. I stitched a set of 3 using indigo blue floss that I had hand dyed, and I sold 2 sets on eBay. But I wanted to stitch the whole pattern. So what I did was, to go with the background here, is I took, where did I put, oh, here it is. I took some hand-dyed floss that I had done and I twisted it with an ecru. And I wanted this big, so I did it on a big count. So I sat down with, I think it's 11 count white, and I stitched the whole thing. Try not to get the glare. I'm not sure about the color of the frame. I like the frame. It's got some, it's kind of really primitive, and I really liked it. So I might keep it this color. I'm not sure. I still have to lace the back. It's just loosely in there. I just placed it to see if I liked it or not. But I fell in love with it. I never thought I would enjoy stitching an alphabet sampler like that, and I just loved it, and I just whipped it out. I was shocked at how fast I did it. And then with the angel theme, I'm just going to go with it. I went through my stash that was already stitched, and I came across this. It was already done, and I just added a bell, and I had this frame. I'm not sure about the color of the frame. I'm probably going to paint it. I do not know who this designer is. I stitched this years ago, and it was just hanging out in a box, so I framed it. Then I was like, well, let me find it here. I was on an angel kick at this point. I went with another one. This is the Primitive Needle dye needle. I have stitched this before. I did a pillow. I had done it on powdered blue, and I used the called for colors. The colors are beautiful. And I also added a vintage needle on the pillow, and I left a little piece of floss in it. It turned out really cute. So I might stitch this again. I'm not sure. It's just a thought. I might do another pillow and maybe put it somewhere over here. I'm not sure. And then I came across this one. I've never stitched this, and oh my gosh, I want to. It's by, let me take it out of the package. This lighting is so bad. I'm sorry. It's by Stacy Nash Primitives, and it's this angel drum. I've never done a drum and I've never done this pattern. So I'm not sure if I want to do a drum. I might just do her and add her into my dough bowl. I'm not sure, but I love this pattern. I love CC Nash, and yeah, I'm going to do this. Okay. Then as this is all happening, I got into the Valentine mood, and I got my box of Valentine things down. This next pattern, I stitch quite a bit. I stitch it a couple times a year. Where did I put it? I love stitching him. It's another Stacy Nash Primitives. It's called Whitaker. Let me show you. I did the Valentine version of him. Every time I do him, he turns out different because I use hand-dyed floss, or I'll change the colors or just do something totally crazy. So this time around, I used my hand-dyed floss. I added a cranberry red scarf for Valentine's Day. I added real buttons to him. And then I made a little pocket, and I put a wooden heart and a little, let me see if I can pull it out for you. A little wooden, not wooden, a little heart-shaped key. Oh, here we go. And then on the back, I added a heart. And if you wanted to, you put scissors in here. I did a wooden heart. And then for his little, the thing he holds, I did a little, what is this? A bottle cap. He still has glue hanging on him, sorry. I did a little bottle cap with a heart, and the fabric looks like peppermint ice cream. It's got little dots of pink and red, and I just thought it went really cute with the Valentine theme. So there is Whitaker ready for Valentine's Day. He put his little key and his heart back in. Okay, so my husband and I came across a plethora of oranges. We have, oh my gosh, blood oranges, mandarin oranges, navel oranges, oranges I don't even know what the names are. They're different colors. And I made a lot of orange juice. I made a lot of salads with cranberries and oranges and nuts. I didn't know what else to do, so I got on Pinterest and I sliced them, and they turned out like this. And what I did was I took a needle and some twine, and I strung these on a fake garland. I strung these, and then I decided, why not do some cinnamon sticks too? So I took a cinnamon stick, and I used this tool. If you don't have this tool, this is the tool of the year. You can get them at Michael's. I've had this one for a while. And you just drill a hole through the cinnamon stick, and you just take twine, and you can add it on a garland or whatever. These are also really, this tool is really, really good for if you make buttons, if you make clay buttons after you bake them, you just use this and drill it. And oh, it's fabulous. I love this tool. Then I went on to, with the oranges, I decided to make some tea. So I took orange peel and I dehydrated them. It just looks like this. Dehydrated them, took some cinnamon stick, chopped it up. I took some cardamom and some rosemary, and I came up with this tea mixture. My first cup of this tea blew me away. I have never made tea before, not out of orange peel and cinnamon stick anyway. When I had my first cup, I had a jar of orange marmalade in the refrigerator, so I just took a little teaspoon and I put it in the tea while it was hot, and I stirred it up. It boosted the flavor. It was fantastic. I recommend orange tea with marmalade in it. Yeah, it was amazing. I do have a tip with the little pine cones that I found. I came home, and because we use a wood stove, that is our primary source of heat. I absolutely love it. We do have another source of heat, but I just prefer the wood stove heat. I love having, especially in the wintertime, I love having the kettle on, and just, you can add different scents in your teapot, and it just smells so wonderful. So we need a lot of fire starters. So what I do is I take little pine cones and I add them into an cardboard egg carton, and with, I guess, wood shavings or little pieces of paper, whatever you have. And then you take an old candle and melt it down, and you just pour a little bit of wax on the top, and you have fire starters. These are wonderful. You just rip off a couple, and it starts the fire right up. My husband, last week when the storm came, after he hung up my light, he had to go to the store, and he had to get a couple groceries because we didn't know how long the storm was going to last. And so we were getting prepared. For Christmas, when I opened my gift, I was so excited. He had gone out, him and the 1.5-year-old went to a craft store. My husband bought me these scissors. He went to Craft Warehouse, bought me this whole pack of scissors, bought me this whole pack of floss. He bought some metallic floss and some silver metallic. And then here's the kicker. My husband went to, where do you say, Joann's. He used a 40% off coupon. I do not know where he got the coupon from, but I was so excited. He bought me a whole roll of Ada. With a 1.5-year-old, he went shopping. And he bought me this other stuff. I'm not sure. I've never used this before. It's not like the 6-strand floss. It's this stuff, and it's like one ply, one strand. I guess you don't pull it apart. It's just one strand. So my New Year's resolution for this year is use it. I have those 2 words, and I'm going to actually do the action, and I'm going to use and utilize everything that I have. With these flosses, threads, I'm going to use them. I'm going to try to over dye them, and I'm going to make some incredible spring Valentines. I don't know, whatever comes to my mind, I'm going to use these. So I'm using this channel to hold me accountable. I'm going to use this year everything I have. So that is my New Year's resolution. Use it. I hope you all have a very safe New Year's. I hope you get a lot of rest. I hope a lot of focus, a lot of vision. And as always, I just want to say, be blessed, be resourceful, and be loved. Until next time. Mwah.